When we travel, we often talk about leaving a place as we found it. But what if travel could do more than that? What if it could actually make a place better? Well, there's a whole new way of thinking about this, and it's starting with a really cool approach from Iceland. Let's get into it.
And that quote right there, that really is the key. This is a mindset that doesn't run away from challenges, it sees them as puzzles, just waiting to be solved. And that problem-solving spirit is at the heart of a movement that wants to completely change our impact as travelers.
So, who are these problem solvers? Well, in Iceland, one of the big ones is the Iceland Tourism Cluster, but this is not your average tourism board. Seriously, think of it less like some central office and more like a living, breathing network.
So, what do they actually do? They're what you'd call an ecosystem builder. They're not just promoting Iceland, they are actively building bridges. They connect tour companies with university researchers, hotels with local government, tech startups with banks. They've basically created this amazing platform where everyone with a stake in tourism can work together to build a stronger, healthier industry for everyone.
And this kind of teamwork, this collaborative spirit, has led to a really powerful new idea. It's a whole philosophy that goes way beyond just trying not to mess things up. It really asks a big question about what the goal of travel should even be.
For decades now, sustainability has been the gold standard, right? The big goal was to get to net zero, to essentially do no harm. But what if that's setting the bar too low? I mean, is just trying not to make things worse really ambitious enough for the challenges we're all facing today?
This is where regenerative tourism comes in, and it totally flips the script. Instead of aiming for a neutral impact, it aims for a positive one. The goal is for the traveler, the local community, and the environment to all be better off because of as it happened. I love the Icelandic translation for it, nourishing tourism. It's all about actively feeding and strengthening the places we go. Now, to be super clear, this isn't about throwing out sustainability. Think of it as an evolution. You can't be regenerative if you're not sustainable first. Sustainability is all about minimizing your negative footprint. Regeneration, that's about maximizing your positive handprint, actively giving back and contributing. It's the next big step in our journey as travelers.
So how do you take a big, exciting idea like this and turn it into something real? Well, the Nordic countries got together to create a blueprint for that very thing. It's called the NorReg project.
So the project's mission is to create a shared game plan for regenerative tourism across the whole Nordic region. But this is not just about big, lofty ideas. It gets that real change happens on the ground. So it's specifically designed to empower the small, local, often family-run businesses, the real backbone of the industry, by creating practical toolkits and pilot projects they can actually use.
To make it all happen, the project uses something called the triple helix model. It's basically a way to make sure everyone is working together. It weaves together three key partners. You've got the private sector, the businesses out there on the front lines, the public sector, the local governments managing roads and services, and academia, providing all the research and knowledge. When those three work together, you get this really powerful system that supports the entire community.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's dive into two fascinating stories that show these regenerative ideas in action. Our first story takes us to the Snæfellsnes Peninsula in Iceland. This is where a citizen science project turned regular tourists into real, active contributors to wildlife conservation. This wasn't just about looking at cute seals, it was about helping to protect them.
So here's how it worked. Imagine you're a guest at a local hotel. You can get a quick briefing, borrow a pair of binoculars, and head out on this specially marked route. Your mission? To count and identify two specific types of seals. One is endangered, the other is at risk. You'd write down what they were doing, what the weather was like, and then submit your data. And that information went directly into real scientific studies. The travel experience itself became an active, genuine contribution. How cool is that?
Okay, for our second story, we're taking a bit of a surprising turn. It argues that to create better travelers, we don't need to change their minds. Nope, we just need to change the environment around them, using the subtle power of behavioral science.
This idea pretty much challenges everything we've assumed about tourism. We've always thought the answer was to educate the traveler, right? Put up more signs, hand out more brochures. But behavioral expert Melina Nikolova points out that when people are on vacation, they're in an experience-first mode, not a learning mode. Trying to lecture them is like trying to swim upstream. It just doesn't work.
So what's the alternative? She uses this brilliant metaphor, the riverbed. Instead of trying to fight the river and force it to go where you want, you reshape the riverbed itself. You design the travel experience, the whole context, so that doing the right thing becomes the most natural, effortless path for the traveler to take.
And this really boils down to two simple but super powerful techniques. For practical stuff, you just make it easy. Like a hotel, simply handing a guest a small trash bag before a hike makes it almost automatic for them to pack out their own trash. Then for experience-based choices, you make it pleasurable. So instead of just listing ingredients on a menu, you describe the local fish with this irresistible story that makes people want to try it, not because it's responsible, but because it sounds absolutely delicious.
And get this, it's not just a nice theory, it actually works. Research shows that just by changing a menu description from something factual to something emotional that tells a story, you can increase the number of people who order that item by at least 12%. That's a huge shift in behavior, and you didn't have to lecture a single person.
So from citizen science to behavioral psychology, all these examples are pointing to a much bigger shift. It's about fundamentally rethinking travel itself. It's about designing experiences that aren't just incredible for the visitor, but are also inherently good for the destination.
And that brings us to the final crucial question. This isn't just about what tourism does to a place anymore. It's about how we can consciously choose to use tourism for a place. It reframes the whole idea of travel from this passive thing we consume to an active choice, a choice with the power to build up, to nourish, and to regenerate.
And this quote really leaves us with a powerful final thought. For so long, so many communities have been stuck reacting, scrambling to manage the impacts of tourism, always running after the bus. This whole regenerative approach invites us to get in the driver's seat, to use tourism as a proactive tool to build the kind of places and the kind of world we all want to live in. The real question is, are we ready to take the wheel?